Jeff Grubb.
Jan Ochoa.
Thank you for joining me, Jeff, in this quick look for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. You know me at this point. I'm a tile sicko.
You like tiles. And when I see a tile now, I now associate that with you. So yeah, the sicko-ness has fully immersed all of us now.
I'm happy that I have that association. You know who else I consider a sicko?
Who's that?
The whole studio Strange Scaffold.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they make games. And this is definitely not a game I was expecting from them at all, because this is like a licensed product, and most, if not all, of their games have been like original stuff.
This, something about this license fits in some ways, but you're right. It's still shocking to see that they're working with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the Nickelodeon company.
The Nickelodeon company, yes. So, as you know, Grubb, I'm a tile sicko, I'm a tactics sicko, and this is a fun twist on a tactics game. Real quick, before we were recording, I was kind of talking to you about I'm kind of disappointed when I am not as super thrilled with a game upon the first hour or so.
I want to just get going with it. I want to like it. I wanted to convey all of its ideas and me to get on its level right away. I'm with you on that. So that happened here, or?
Yes, that happened here, and I don't know if that was just the controls not particularly being well mapped to a controller, or at least on a Steam Deck. But now I'm playing on my desktop. I've gotten used to the flow. I've also unlocked more of the turtles. And now I'm really enjoying the game.
Okay. So it sounds like that was a pretty quick turn. It didn't require hours and hours, maybe an hour.
Yeah, maybe an hour. I think so the game starts, you are only playing, as far as I know, Grubb, and I'm about 4 or 5 hours in. I'm in chapter 3 out of 4 chapters. I'm pretty sure at this point, Grubb, you are only playing as one turtle per level, which
interesting.
It's kind of a bummer for me because part of the appeal of the turtles is the whole group dynamic. And I think
definitely
in a tactics style game that would be pretty well suited playing solo dolo. You can control all of the turtles at your leisure. But this is kind of more of an arcadey style tactics game, so I get why they are only doing the one turtle per map. We have Leonardo here, and each of the turtles have similar movesets, but very distinct differences in how they control and interact with the enemies and the environment. You can see in the upper left there we have our hearts, which is health, obviously, and the shurikens, which are our ability points. Each of our abilities here in the bottom row cost shuriken or an ability point.
Okay, I see that.
And then they have a power associated with them. And we see that Leonardo is flashing here, and because we got someone, Grubb, with the rad slash, on KO we gain radical, so that's when we're glowing here. And for any of these abilities that have a little additional flavor text, or a status thing, just hit up and it'll remind you what it is. So movement is also dictated by your action points. I think it's interesting that they kind of went with the Hitman Go style of tabletop looking pieces.
Right, it definitely looks a lot like that, to the point where I'm wondering how much of the gameplay is like that, but I'm getting the sense it's not very much like the Lara Croft or Hitman Go stuff.
No, not super. And if you see in the top right there's that 7 with a clock. That's how many turns are going to happen for the whole duration of the level, to pretty much how long you have to last.
Okay, so you have to survive that. If you survive that, you're good. It's not like you have to defeat all the enemies in that time?
No.
Okay.
Most of the time, though, you do kind of have to try and defeat as many enemies as possible within the given number of turns, but you're not penalized if you don't take care of everyone. And sometimes the stage will take care of everyone.
Okay, all right, so should I be thinking Into the Breach right now? That's maybe where I'm leaning towards with some of these comparisons.
I would kind of lean more towards Tactical Breach Wizards.
Okay, right. Okay, that's definitely another comparison point. But, in both of those games, you still had a squad, right? You had multiple characters you were controlling. Okay, so if that is a limitation that continues throughout the game, what do they do to make playing as any one of these individual characters as entertaining as possible?
I think what they do is differentiating them enough, and having these levels kind of be pretty speedy, and none of these enemies so far in the game up until chapter 3 have been particularly meaty or like challenging. Right. I'd say it can be overwhelming, but then your turtles have enough tools equipped to kind of get out of it. So enough of the talk, Grubb. Let's just push someone off.
Okay, let's see it.
There you go.
Technically a defenestrate, did not go through a window.
Did not go through a window, but I guess pushed off of a subway car?
He does look like a subway car. It's minimalist to a point that it's like, I get it. Like you're trying to cut back on some things because you're probably spending money on this IP.
Totally.
And I'm like, do I like the way that it's presented? I think I'm okay with it. Is how I would describe it.
I am okay with it as well. Again, it was one of those things where I was like, I kind of wish this was different. Like I said at the top, we're playing as Leonardo. Leonardo and Raphael have been my two favorite turtles to play as so far. Out of all the 4, Leo has a bunch of moves that kind of build off of each other. So a lot of them take advantage of purposely knocking out an enemy, and that'll give you like a little bonus effect. Juggling is cool because if you juggle someone, they can't move or attack the next turn, and you'll also do +1 damage to them. We only have 2 action points and 2 dudes here, so we'll just juggle this guy and then get out of there. What I will say, Grubb, once you get the hang of the combat, it does kind of feel like a brawler in a way, where you are kind of just like going through an autopilot, not mashing away in a negative way, but you're going through these levels pretty quick.
Okay.
So since we were already radical with that last turn, that persisted.
And I can tell that because he's flaming. Is that radical?
Yes, that's radical.
Okay.
So all of the turtles, I believe, have like a push an enemy back a space, which comes in handy a lot in these levels. So positioning, very important. If you highlight over your different moves, it gives you where the range is. Also, generally, when you are planning on moving to a space, you can see there those Final Fantasy 12 arrows or arcs, which will show you if you're going to be in range. Actually, this will be good. Let's throw you off, and then end our turn.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Grubb, like once you get the hang of everything, you can speed through these instances pretty fast and enter like a flow state kind of thing. Also in the upper left there, you notice we got a meter flashing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's kind of like a like a super attack. I kind of wish it was like animated, or there was a little bit more pizzazz with it.
Right.
But that varies per turtle. Sometimes it's just like a stun or like a buff.
It's an ooze. Okay, is this one of the stage hazards you were mentioning?
Yes. So if we were to stay here until the end of the turn, stuff would happen over here and may harm us or knock us out. Also, for anyone picking this up, I would not put too much stock in trying to like keep your health up or trying to not lose lives, because it is modeled after the beat 'em ups where if you die, you just drop right back in.
Okay. It's because of so many of the analogs happening between this and the beat 'em up, I'm starting to see what you mean about the combat even looking that way to a certain degree. I kind of wish the visuals were just aping the old arcade games. I know we've gotten a lot of that, like for Turtles now, and it's like almost cliche. Mm-hmm. And I also understand why they don't do that, because even those pixel visuals at this point would take more time than this. And so I again, like constraining budgets, and I'm all for that. But boy, I can't help but want the old arcade style visuals.
Yeah, I mean the music in this is pretty cool. I dig the tracks a lot.
I like that, yeah.
But it does feel a little bit bare bones in some spots where I wish, I don't know, maybe there was a little bit more budget Right now, this game is only on Steam, I believe. So it we may have to wait a bit before it heads to Switch or consoles. But I am enjoying it. I just kind of wish there was it leaned in more to like the group element of the Turtles.
Right.
Also, I love that they throw these big dudes at you constantly, and they look very menacing, Grubb. And then just, bye.
They're punks? Okay,
They're
cool.
just punks. It's the Foot Clan at the end of the day.
Right, it's all the Foot Clan all the way down. Okay.
Yeah.
Tactical Takedown, that's what this one is. This is going to be $20, although it's $18 on Steam right now.
Yeah. So with this, with Leo's abilities, for instance, if we knock a dude out with this feint cut move, we get like +1 evasion, and so we have the potential to dodge a future attack.
Okay.
With this one, when we hit him with a rad slash and kill him, we'll get radical, so that will give us a +1 attack. Generally, Grubb, in my experience, it hasn't been super necessary to kind of like burn through all of my action points.
Right. So that's where I'm kind of getting at now with my understanding is so early comparisons, stuff like Tactical Breach Wizards, those could put you in sticky situations where you really got to be considerate about every move you're making, and and picking up those evasions would be super useful because you're like, attack this, again, take care of that guy, but this last guy, he's going to shoot me no matter what. Well, I'll try to get evasion. Are you finding yourself frequently in situations where thinking very tactically is necessary?
There are moments. A lot of these levels are kind of small like this, so
right.
It's less thinking tactically of like being conservative of my action points, and more thinking of like spatially of like, okay, this dude is going to be here, got to play with the space there, and figure out if I can get rid of them or be far enough away where they're just not going to matter to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me a second to warm up on this game, which, Grubb, people also know that I'm a freak for the Power Rangers. And I really enjoy the Power Ranger game that came out last year. And I'm also a overt freak for the Turtles.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up on the Turtles. I've like phased in and out of being like, oh yeah, I still like the Turtles. Those recent movies were really good. The 2012 show, I think the CG one on Nickelodeon, was pretty good. So it's like, I want to like the Turtles when something like this pops up and it's from an interesting studio. I do perk up a little bit, although I have not followed this one too closely. It was one of those situations where I'm like, I'll wait and see. And the more I see here, it's like, this is one where maybe I would install it on my Steam Deck and give it a shot. Although I'm so busy right now, that's pretty unlikely, and I'm not feeling an overwhelming need to play this based on what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I kind of wish it had more of a hook into it. I feel like they try and lean into the arcade aspect a lot with like the combo meter and score popping off over there. You can unlock different abilities for the Turtles, but I've kind of just stuck with the default loadout and haven't really bothered too much. There is a little bit of differentiation with the enemies. You see that this big dude has a star and this red border around his character portrait.
Right.
That means we can't move him, so we can't knock him off this train.
Okay.
But you can still juggle him and then boop him. I feel like we haven't had too much difficulty, and that's despite me playing through this level already. I do kind of want to show off one of the other turtles at least. Actually, let's just pop out it. No, we only have one more round left.
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's see this through. Yeah, I definitely want to see like just a different level, just because I want to compare it to the aesthetics of like this just being on top of a subway train. It's very barren, and I'm assuming not every level is quite this, like just like dressed down.
Yeah, like the turtles occupy different parts of New York, I guess.
Okay.
Mikey is handling the streets. Raph is on New York rooftops and everything, and Donnie is in the sewers, while Leo here is handling the subway, the metro system.
Why did your timer reset to 5?
That's a good question. I don't know why I did that. I thought we were almost done there.
Yeah.
Well, see, those dudes got, like, I wish there was a little bit more animation or even sound design when, like, the stage hazards pick up. And here, they start introducing different enemies where these dudes will dodge your first attempt at them. And you'll have to hit them twice, even though they're pretty low health enemies. So we'll use our AoE here, and then that'll take care of like that little buff that they had.
Okay.
We'll just throw this dude off just because we feel like it. And then we'll go here, also throw this dude off. And I guess we have more time in this level, so I'll just back out, Grubb.
Okay.
We can show off the shop, actually.
All right, yeah.
Here at the shop, we can buy different tracks for the game to play. Also, these are the different abilities. I made the mistake of buying a bunch of Mikey abilities, thinking that they were for all of the turtles, when this is just all of the items available for purchase.
Okay, so you got OP Mikey and a bunch of just useless turtles.
Yeah. I actually, Mikey, I think, is possibly the most useless. I don't like...
Yeah, I like him the best, but I agree.
I don't like Mikey's, like, abilities. Raph and Leo have been the most fun to play.
Okay.
The thing that's unfortunate, Grubb, is that it seems like a lot of these abilities would synergize really well with each other if I could play them all.
Do you think there's any chance you do play as multiple characters later in the game? I mean, I'm looking at the video on Steam. It doesn't look like it.
I don't think so, especially the way that how small the levels are. They don't seem designed to accommodate for multiple turtles. So when you pop into the different chapters here, it pretty much highlights which turtle you're going to be playing as. So there's a lot of... it's very Mikey front-loaded, and then I'll tell you, when it switches to Raph is kind of a fresh air with how Raph controls.
Okay.
Let's go... Oh, this is appropriate. No, that's too long of a level. Let's go with this first level that introduces Raph to us.
Okay, cool.
Again, very small level, kind of bare bones with how it looks.
Right.
And it's very similar to how the subway was formed.
Yeah, I mean, it presents very similarly.
Yeah.
Similarly, yes, I see that. I'm looking at the video again. Like, the streets with Michelangelo look maybe a little bit more like there's stuff going on, but not much more.
Not too much more. Raph is a little bit more of a powerhouse. He is a heavy hitter of the team. So when he kicks someone off of an edge, he gains radical. So just booping folks. And then the cool thing is Raph can pull folks in, like Scorpion. And then once you pull someone in, they also take an extra +1 damage. So you can kind of rinse through folks pretty fast. Also, when he knocks out an enemy with his basic Psy Strike attack, he gains an action point back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So you can rinse through enemies really fast as Raph, as compared to some of the other turtles.
Right.
Like, here you're almost incentivized more to be knocking people off the edge versus some of the other turtles.
Right.
Watch this. Grubb, you got a favorite turtle media property out of the whole oeuvre?
Yeah, the oeuvre, the oeuvre there. I mean, I like the first two movies quite a bit. I know that Mike Minotti likes The Secret of the Ooze like way more, but I like them both quite a bit. The third movie, I'll even watch the third movie, whatever. But yeah, I grew up on that original cartoon, so that's definitely my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Although, with kids these days, we've watched a couple of the things, and I do enjoy that Seth Rogen movie. That was really well done. Yes, it's really good.
I had a... Oh, hey, look, it's the Baxter robots.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, this game pretty much just covers, like, your basic fare of Turtles enemies.
Yeah, I would guess.
I guess, like, a gripe, and this comes from, like, really enjoying where the, I guess, tactics genre has gone in the last couple of years. I am bugged that there is no rewind feature.
Right.
And I feel like that's kind of been essential in these tactics games.
Mm-hmm.
Also, kind of like another thing I'm bummed out is like a lack of confirming of a turn sometimes.
Sure, yeah.
But again, minor gripes for like what is a pretty light game.
Right. Yeah. It seems like those are genre staples at this point. So I would be expecting them to. So I think I'd probably be like, oh, that's a little weird that's not here. Especially because it's so close to those other genre staples of how it works. So like giving you all this information about how things are going to work when you make your move there. That's a relatively recent development for tactical games. It's like, yeah, that's the way you should do it. So I guess I would expect a like one rewind per stage sort of thing.
And the Turtles have been known to dabble with time.
They've gone into it before.
Yes, the third one.
Yeah.
And the games.
Multiple times.
I do like picking folks off of rooftops. I'll give
yeah,
the game
of course. That does still look satisfying for sure.
So, Grubb, you'll notice here, the stage is mutating as we go through. Any part of the stage that is like highlighted in red here, those will disappear. So if you or some enemies are on it, they are just going to die.
Okay, cool.
This game is funny though because there are NPCs that only pop up on certain levels, and they seem to be all of the Michelangelo levels. Like there's just a guy throwing glizzies, and the glizzies will give you health.
Okay.
In another,
is it the implication that Mikey's the only turtle that has friends?
I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in another Michelangelo level, there's just a New Yorker shooting people.
Well, okay. That's just reality.
Which is like, oh, okay. Well, I guess life imitates art sometimes, huh?
Yeah, I guess sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
I like the steam coming off the pizza. That's pretty good.
It's good. Good. Yeah, that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown, Grubb. It's out now on Steam, $20 as you mentioned. But I think there is like a little sale going on.
Yeah, $18 at the moment. Yeah.
And I've been enjoying it. I definitely wish there was a little bit more meat on the pizza. Let's say.
Sure. It's still like it's impressive that the game is as fully fledged or fully featured as it is, considering this is a studio that has put out a lot of games in the last little bit. I mean, just in 2024, they had 3 games. They've already had 1 game this year, that creepy redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3, and now this again as well. So 5 games in the last year and a half is wild stuff.
Yeah, the output is insane from Strange Scaffold, so I do give them props. I do like a bunch of titles that have come out of the studio. But, I was still a little bit more critical of this one because the Turtles are near and dear to my heart.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Cool that it exists. I hope it finds its audience.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks, Jeff Grubb.
Thank you, Janichoa.
giantbomb.com/join.